Meanwhile, President Donald Trump says tariffs in Canada and Mexico could go up in the future. A 25% tariff on some goods from both countries is set for next month. And while these tariffs could hurt American consumers, United Auto Workers President Shawn Fain came out in support.
We're in a crisis mode. And, we are triaging right now. So I hear this debate about, blanket tariffs and all this stuff. But look, we're in a triage situation. Tariffs are an attempt to stop the bleeding from the hemorrhaging of jobs in America for the last 33 years. So, and as we speak right now, decisions are still being made. Warren Truck Plant right here in Michigan, there's over 2,000 people laid off. And a simple decision, Stellantis is shifting truck production to Mexico. They could change overnight and move those trucks right back here to Warren, Michigan, and put people back to work. You have Deere workers in Racine, Wisconsin. We have Mack truck workers in Allentown, Pennsylvania, where the companies saying are going to move their jobs to Mexico. So tariffs aren't the end solution, but they are a huge factor in creating and fixing this problem.
UAW President Shawn Fain there. So to break this all down, let's talk to Mike Patton. He's senior contributor at Forbes, joining us live on CBS News 24/7. Nice to have you with us. So why is the president of one of the largest unions in the United States supporting Mr. Trump's agenda?
That is an interesting question. I don't know precisely, but I suspect strongly that President Biden's EV mandates probably made the workers a little uncomfortable. Shawn Fain, representing the workers here, understands that the cheap labor in other countries and cheap imports can have undercut the prices of domestic autos for a while. And he talks about the giant sucking sound that Ross Perot made famous in '93 on Larry King. And so adding tariffs to that levels the playing field. If you didn't, and the cheap imports were allowed to undercut U.S. business sales, then there would be fewer jobs needed, less demand, and lower pay. So I think what the President Trump is doing at this point, although I think the idea of it is laudable and credible, of course, the execution is somewhat lacking, in my opinion.
Well, and the big question is, how long will Americans have a stomach for the impacts of these tariffs before we start to see an erosion politically? There's a lot of uncertainty with the president's approach. So
exactly.
What are the president's, what's he looking at, do you think, about potential downsides of all of this? Or do you think he's even thinking that there could be downsides?
I haven't read The Art of the Deal, but I know he's a master at PR and marketing. I suspect he knows, and he does have advisors around him, and I think those advisors are pretty well qualified in their fields. He doesn't want this to be prolonged. I think he would like this to be a short-term solution where he fires a shot across the bow, and then the ship raises their white flag. They go to the table, they negotiate, and either reciprocal tariffs or maybe, in an ideal world, maybe reducing tariffs to zero and creating a level playing field. And in that case, the market would decide who sells the most products, whether it's U.S. businesses or foreign competitors.
You talk about the market deciding. We are literally watching in real time the stock market right now. How many days of negative territory in the market do you foresee in this environment of this trade war?
Well, if I had a crystal ball, I'd answer that, Reed. Nobody knows. I think it just depends. I think businesses hate uncertainty when they're planning their budgets and hiring expansions, et cetera. Uncertainty is a terrible thing for them. They cannot plan. They'd rather know what the rules are, and they're fairly agnostic, I believe, in terms of Democrat, Republican. They just need to know what the rules are so they can figure out a way to maximize their profits. So I think the stock market is definitely a short-term, and many times neurotic reaction to current events, and that's what's happening here today. How long it will go on, it's hard to say. It really depends on how long the tariff situation looms and what transpires as a result.
Mike Patton, thank you so much to you and yours. We appreciate your reporting today on CBS News 24/7.
Thank you, Reed. Have a good day.
You too, my friend.